Now, our female perspective today is being led by Abigail Fraher. In case you don't know the name, she's a host, a personality, and a fashionista, all rolled into one. Abigail Fraher, ladies and gentlemen.
I love that introduction.
Oh, it's the introduction you should get everywhere you go.
Right?
It is,
I'm
right?
gonna carry you with me.
And I see you rocked a bathrobe on the low.
You know, listen.
To fit in. You did, on the low.
I did.
As a bathrobe hater, now you've become a lover.
It's a kimono, but
what's the difference?
it's the most like fashion forward version of what you do. So I thought I would, apply it to the situation.
Everyone always has to change stuff. Look, I've noticed that the bathrobe has been catching on lately. If you've noticed, so many people, but just
you know why?
don't forget.
Rita Ora.
Don't forget where you saw it first.
Never.
Don't forget where you saw it first and say, hey, because I hit Rita and I was like, really, Rita? And she was like, oh, no, I totally forgot. I was like, oh, you're going to just play like you don't know that I do it? Yeah.
She didn't even give you credit.
She didn't even give me credit.
Rude.
Listen, because people will be like, oh, what about Hugh Hefner? No. Hugh wore silky robes, blah. Mm-hmm. Like he was trying.
Right.
The point is to not try. Exactly.
Oh, I feel like I was trying.
No. You just threw on a kimono. You just threw it on.
Like,
You're like, oh, pretty. Oh, pretty. And then you threw it on. Yeah, that's not you trying.
Sorry.
But you are fashion forward. That's one of the things you've been pushing with your brand.
Yeah. I would say so. It's like a weird combination of like super girly stuff mixed with menswear. I like wearing my men's pants and oversized t-shirts and sweatshirts, but having like a nice girly flair on that.
No, I completely appreciate what you're doing all over your Instagram, which is catching on.
It is.
People are sending you clothes now.
I am getting free clothes. I love it.
Is that the best part?
That's yes, 100%.
Because you were in this host personality space, and then you transformed it into also being a fashion diva person.
Yeah.
With Olivia. Olivia's
she's my counterpart in OGAF.
Which is your show.
Which is it's our podcast. We started out doing YouTube videos where we would just go do random shit in LA that was kind of trendy. That took a lot of time to both plan out, and I would DM people like, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? To try and, save the money like we were talking about earlier.
Of course.
And
we're going to get into that.
I don't doubt it. But then that kind of transformed into a podcast, which is just way easier. And it's, I think, more us. It's not so structured.
So it's just free form. But what's the podcast about?
So the podcast is our tagline is what's poppin' in pop culture. So we like to talk about pop culture, but it's more from a female dynamic, kind of, I guess, where you're.
So basically, not only are
people
taking a bathrobe. Now, is this the kimono version of of our show? Is it the kimono to my bathrobe?
And I'm like, oh. It's basically like what you do, except we don't invite men on. So it's just kind of like, we're not men bashing.
You just cut out
either.
the middle part.
Yeah, but...
You cut out the middleman. You just literally cut out the middleman, and there's no men, just the female perspective.
I actually ran into someone, and they were like, I listen to your and it's weird, because I don't really check the statistics on the podcast, because I feel like I take things very personally. So I'm like, I'm just going to do it. Whoever listens, it will pick up whatever. And so this person I did not expect.
Female?
Male.
Okay, so you're being stalked and or going to be murdered.
Right.
Go on.
Maybe. But
that's how it works.
He was like, I listened to your podcast. I was like, oh, really? I was like, which one? He's like, all of them. But I started at the most recent and went backwards. And I was like, okay, interesting. And he was like, it's really cool, because I felt like I was like peeping in on a girl's conversation. Like at dinner, or, when you're getting wine or whatever. And he's like, it was cool to see like a perspective that was so unfiltered, and he basically made me feel like I put so much time and effort into making this creation that actually is just genuinely Olivia and I. So it was a nice compliment.
That's actually, and I really like the title OGAF, because even though it sounds like OG as fuck, it's really just Olivia Gabourey and Abigail Fraher.
Yeah.
And it comes together very nicely.
Yeah.
It's a good.
It works.
It does work. And you guys work together, and we all actually work together, which was fun.
Yes.
We used to do after shows.
We did, and Teron would always put me in my place.
And now, actually, what it was is...
He's just so much smarter than me.
What I did was I created the dialogue and the dynamic of something, which you realize later does work better.
It does.
Because what happens is on a lot of shows, people just have the same opinion, and everyone's trying to be so nice.
Right.
And so... to a point where it's almost fake, where if I'm the viewer, I don't want to watch that.
Right, 100%.
I don't want to watch a Hallmark card for an hour. I don't want to watch just everyone just going, oh, no, you're right. No,
want some
you're
drama.
right. It's not about drama. It's about having different points of views and perspectives, even if they're not popular.
Right.
Even if you're saying something that not everyone likes, which is actually, we're going to lead into some of these people later on today. But I do want our listeners to get a better point of view of who you are. So we play a game called Either Or.
Oh,
where
Lord.
you pick one or the other,
Okay.
and you must pick.
You must pick.
You
There's
must
no like
pick.
opt-out button.
Exactly.
Is it the same questions for every time people come in?
No.
So you just pick them.
We just pick them. We throw them out there, and it's a
Can't wait for these.
psychological analysis of who you are as a person.
All
Okay.
right.
Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
Cupcake or frosting on cake?
So I get to eat the piece of cake with the frosting on it?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, cake.
Cake, just regular cake over
Frost-
cupcake.
Yeah. Hell yeah, definitely.
Okay. Ice cream or frozen yogurt?
Definitely ice cream.
Ice cream, strong,
Hands down.
old-fashioned, traditional, conservative, a little.
Yep, white,
president.
you know.
Okay.
In case you guys didn't know.
If you didn't know. Okay. Black guy or white guy?
Black guy.
I just want everyone to know that, okay? Because that plays a part.
Are you pulling this out of your head or did you have them pre-planned?
That plays a part. Kermit or Miss Piggy?
Miss Piggy. She's a bad little bitch.
Miss Piggy.
I like her.
Miss
Yeah.
Piggy.
Yeah.
The original Don't Shame My Body. She was. People didn't realize.
And she spoke her mind. I feel like that gets you farther in life. Unless people fuck with you. Like, they might actually outwardly, but, like, there's none of that hashtag Me Too movement going on with me because I feel like people are like, she's going to say something, like, immediately.
She's going to tell.
Like, yeah.
Like,
it's not
she's
gonna
going
be-
to tell.
Like, it's not going to be like, oh, we're going to keep. No. It'll probably come out that day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because you'll say, fuck it all. I'm
Yeah.
lose everything, but I'm going out my way.
Yeah.
Okay. Frank Sinatra or Barbara Streisand?
Frank Sinatra.
Okay. Goodfellas? Titanic.
I mean, I've only seen Titanic, so I'm going to go with Titanic.
Okay. Lil Wayne or Lil Uzi Vert?
Lil Wayne,
Lil Wayne.
definitely.
Okay. Because that's the era.
I don't know if that's necessarily. I feel like I was on the mid to later end of that. I was on like the Drake end of the Lil Wayne. Like, but I'm just not about a lot of this new stuff. I mean, actually, no. I do like some of his music, Lil Uzi Vert, which
Sure.
is Lucifer. If you put it all together, say it real quick.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, right. Which I love. It's cool. Some of his stuff's cool.
Trying to join the
It's-
Illuminati on the show.
you know,
That's which I love.
I love it. It was great. No, but I think Lil Wayne's like way more prominent. He has way more of a substantial. I mean, he's been doing it longer, but he has an empire.
Okay, Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
Drake, definitely.
Not even you didn't even want to contemplate.
Would you listen to? I love Kendrick, but would you listen to Kendrick on a 12-hour road trip for 12 hours?
You know who has had that conversation with me?
Who?
George. George and I had a conversation about that, especially when Kendrick first dropped and everyone was on the Kendrick ride in that wave. And I said, I understand. He's very good.
Yeah.
However, Drake just has a much more compiled compilation of hits.
I'm going to give you the Hallmark answer. I do agree with you because I really do agree with you. Yeah.
It is, but it is.
Yeah.
I
I'm not gonna
I
disagree.
really like, and as much as I can like Kendrick, I'm just going to listen to Drake.
100%. It's just.
I just texted him this weekend about
Yeah,
that.
it's just Drake and he can do. I mean, Kendrick's amazing, but again, Kendrick I feel like is very specific. Drake can do a whole bunch of shit, and like it's catchy and it makes you feel good, and like your windows are down and you're just
And you sing along. And
Yeah.
He doesn't have
And
a
you
good
feel
voice. so
empowered.
you have a. You don't
he
have
has
a good voice.
cute voice.
There's
It's-
something.
yeah.
He's made us like it.
He has.
He's made us like it. Okay, Princess Katie or Princess Megan?
Probably Megan, I would say.
So not Kate Middleton.
Not Kate Middleton. But that's a loaded question because they have very different.
That's the whole point.
Titles.
It's loaded.
And-
These are loaded questions.
I mean, the cupcake wasn't loaded.
It was. It was. It says a lot about people. I feel like any girl that chooses cupcake, high maintenance. I just feel
Okay.
that way. I
Okay.
feel like high maintenance girls like cupcakes.
Well, though, is it high maintenance because you don't need a fork?
The concept is, but you have to go out of your way to get a cupcake.
Do you though?
Because
they're
you
doing
do.
cupcake wedding cakes now.
And that's a bit high maintenance.
is,
Now
okay.
you're doing the most. Just get the cake and shut the fuck
or you're
up.
really thoughtful because then everyone can just grab their cupcake.
No,
Okay.
because honestly,
I'm just
that's
trying to
pretentious.
combat you a little.
That's just pretentious, right? It's just extra. And that's one thing about you, even though you come off very high maintenance, you're a low maintenance kind of girl.
I am. And yep. I agree with you with that too. You just have me all sized up.
Well, I mean, I do know you
Yeah.
pretty well.
Yeah,
I
you
do
do.
know you pretty well personally, but also as
I
a
feel
person.
like though, even people who know me well still think I'm really high maintenance, even though
because
they don't
know you
understand.
well.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't get it. They don't get the package. And it comes to play out as you've played it out in your professional life, you play it out in your personal life, your relationships. You're a low maintenance person. You just want to basically get in and get what needs to get done.
Get out.
And get out. And it might come from your upbringing. You were raised in like a middle America place. You were.
Like Ohio, Cleveland?
That something.
Yeah, middle America.
That's middle
Yeah,
America,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, one of those middle America towns where people call flyover states that turned out to be the most important places.
Yeah, Ohio is very important, you know.
It's the backbone of the country. Those places. They are.
And the elections and-
but people
Yeah.
don't realize that middle America is the backbone of this country. It's a very fundamental part about this country. The country is not just New York, Chicago, DC,
what's
LA.
crazy is like if you leave this little like 5-mile radius, it goes right back to feeling like I'm back home. It's weird.
It-
Like Van Nuys, go to Van Nuys. Like
Yeah, and people
You don't think you're
that's
in Los
true.
Angeles.
Go to Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Go somewhere.
Yeah.
If you leave LA 10 miles in either direction,
it's
15 miles in any direction, except, towards Santa Monica, because then you're just in the middle of the ocean. But basically, you're in small town. Fresno is a small town. Sacramento is a small town. And they feel that way.
Yeah.
Cerritos, Torrance, all these places are small towns.
I agree.
And wow, we're agreeing a lot today. That's not what we've ever done in
I'm
life.
sure it's
We'll disagree on something.
I'm in a happy
I'll
mood
make
today.
sure it happens.
You caught me on a good day.
I know, I did. Okay. Tall and big bone, tall and fat, or short and built.
What are we calling fat? Like what's the weight limit here?
Hey, it's all up to your discretion.
What's short?
Shorter than you.
Oh, and I'm 5'3", so that's like we're talking little people.
We're talking 5'2".
So like Kevin Hart, maybe I would take Kevin Hart over.
Rick Ross.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
So
Just
short
throwing-
and fit.
I'm just throwing those two
Yeah,
out.
Rick Ross disgusts me actually. I'm like not a Rick Ross
Why?
fan. I just saw you brought that.
The Bel Air.
Yeah, but I love that song by Kodak Black. The Bel Air song. Yeah, sipping on Bel Air. You know.
Well, that's who.
But that's what I thought of.
Throws
But
out the-
yeah, Rick Ross is not. He's not cool in my book. He's kind of disgusting.
Why they part? I thank you.
Did they part ways?
Thank you to no. Thank you to
Okay.
Bel Air for partnering up with us.
Yes.
Showing us love.
Thank you.
Even though I don't even drink.
I know. I saw you with that. I was
but
like, what?
this is I live that Bel Air life. They sent me bathrobes. They sent me Bel Air
No, they
custom
did
made
not.
bathrobes.
Why
yes,
are
they
you
did.
wearing it?
They sent me Bel Air custom made because they're actually so nice.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How many people sent you bathrobes? I feel like you probably have a nice how many bathrobes do you own?
I have at least 20 to 50 bathrobes.
So probably like 35.
And I'll tell you why I say 20 to 50 because I also don't do laundry.
Gotcha.
So what happens is with bathrobes, I tend to get rid of them instead of
Do you donate them
use
or?
them. I do. I donate everything that I don't wash. And when I don't
So
do
you
laundry,
donate
even-
dirty clothes?
I don't donate dirty clothes. Actually, what happens is I have a person who washes my clothes.
Okay.
And when I feel like instead of reusing, if I feel like if my t-shirt isn't as crisp as I prefer it, and it's weird because I won't mind, and then all of a sudden one day I'll mind.
Yeah, you're
and
like,
now
this
that's
is-
got to be gone.
okay.
And for a long time you be like, well, why are you still wearing that shirt? And then one day, or it could be a brand new shirt, and the next day I'm just like, I don't appreciate this anymore.
Okay.
So
Specific tastes.
I'm just very particular. I'm the most complicated, simple person on the planet.
Okay.
So
I would agree with that as well.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works. And when it comes to your personal relationships, right?
Okay.
Because the topic today, and I want you to think about it before we get
Oh,
there.
I heard the topics.
Yeah. The topic is about money versus how important money is in relationships.
Right.
And it plays a part.
It's 100%.
So we'll get there. And it comes about because of the royal wedding. I don't know if you paid attention to the royal wedding, how you felt about it.
Yeah.
How did it play in your part?
I mean, I was aware of what was going on. I did not watch it.
You didn't watch it? Because I felt like for a lot of girls, the royal wedding was the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was the playoffs.
They were like
this is what we're watching.
early,
Yeah, they were up early. We're going to watch it. It's fashion. It's this, it's that.
No, it didn't. I just don't care.
Yeah.
To be, like blunt, great. I'm happy for you. I'm not the princess, so it doesn't really affect my life. Like, we don't live there, and even the people that live there, it doesn't affect their life, like their day to day. It's not, it's.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then why you have a show about pop culture,
right?
So that's what basically what
I care
pop
about
culture
pop
is.
culture, but like I don't really care about watching her walk down the aisle, and like I have opinions on it.
So what are these opinions that you have on it?
I think that there was way too much racial like shit going on Instagram with it. Like, let's all just get over that at some point.
Well, they are making it sound like Prince Harry married Martin Luther King Jr. That's
Right.
how they're pushing it.
Right.
Like, so much progress. This is progress.
Right.
And
Which is,
just to
it
be
is
fair,
great.
it is progress because usually I see black guys marrying white redhead women.
Who is that?
I mean, just in general, I feel like
Yeah.
dark black guys have a tendency to date basic white redhead girls. Like,
Okay.
I've noticed that.
Okay.
That is like a thing.
Yeah.
But maybe because it flipped, it's progress. But they're making it way more a racial thing than it is. And especially because she's not even that black. Like,
Okay, well, I would never say that.
I know you would never say it, but I'm going to say it.
I honestly don't
She's
even
not
think that.
Idris Elba black. Like,
Right.
okay, if he was
But
marrying
like-
Idris Elba, we'd have a conversation.
Okay, so if she was like Lupita, you would have a conversation.
Lupita? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd be
Okay.
like, and it's not that Megan, there is no black state, right?
Right.
On the level of consciousness. However, there is something that we consider more black than not.
Yeah.
Drake is not as black as Kodak Black.
But he literally isn't. Like he is part white.
He is part white, but also, even if I looked at someone who isn't part white.
So you think that a lighter skinned, fully black man is different than like a dark?
I'm going to say this, and it's something people rarely talk about. There
Okay.
is also, while there is white privilege,
Yeah.
there is also
Light-skin.
light skin privilege. Light skin
Yeah.
privilege does exist,
It does.
whether we want to admit it or not. And as a light skinned person, I will come out and say it.
Mm-hmm.
We often look at people who are darker skinned in a darker light,
Mm-hmm.
pardon the pun. And we do that often. We do that as a society. We do that as people. There are skin lighteners for dark people, something that a light-skinned person would probably not use. Light-skinned people stay out of the sun in order to avoid getting darker. Things that people never talk about. Oh,
Right.
you have good hair. That's what people say because I have like
Right.
curls, looser
that aren't
curls.
right.
And the concept is just, I happen to be mixed. That is
Mm-hmm.
it.
I almost find today that, I mean, am I allowed to say light skinned? Can
Sure.
I say that?
I you know what?
Light skinned people are actually the ideology of beauty. Really. I mean, I spray tan.
Sure, because we're ethnically
too
ambiguous
white.
sometimes. Sure.
Like,
yeah, you
in
are
my
way too
opinion,
white
you know what I'm
sometimes.
saying? Like, I'm like, I don't like my skin. Like, it's natural. Like, stay out of the sun. Like, put me in the sun. I mean, I don't want melasma and all that, but so I'll spray myself to be a little bit darker. Whereas, I guess what you're saying is that people on the darker end of the spectrum are trying to lighten themselves. So everyone's really trying to get to this like nice mixed ethnicity skin tone,
Which people always talk about
which is
how
dope. I think
if
that it's
everyone mixes, oh, then it'll end racism.
it's not.
Of course not. It's actually the opposite of
Right.
ending racism. Then there will only be one race, and then we won't have races to have racism. The
Right.
concept of ending racism is having different races and just ending the fact that we prejudge people based on the color of their skin and not the content of their character.
I feel like I could talk about this all day. What I find funny about the wedding is that I think the black female community in particular was all like, I mean, everyone was happy. Like, yes, it's a historical
they were
moment,
happier?
but they were like very outward about it. Whereas if it was a black prince marrying a white woman, that wouldn't be what you're hearing.
See, here's the thing. You're sensitive to that because you're dating a black guy.
No,
and I'm sure it's
have
played
you
a part
watched,
in this.
Did you?
But yes,
did you see
and it should be that way.
Baller Report? I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
Posted something about like Black Power. Can you truly believe in Black Power when you're with someone of another race? And I was just like, I really actually want to know what people think. So I was just reading through the comments. I had to stop because I was just like, oh my God, there's so much hatred in the world.
There's hatred towards the concept of black men going away from black women, and I'll explain to you why.
Okay.
Because in the United States, for example, where black and white is so black and white, black women are the only women in this country that have to meet a man of their own skin color and wonder if they date black women. Because so many black men have said, we only date white women. Yes. Oh, and they treat white women as if it's better and dating black women is worse. We've had rap lyrics to that extent. We've had pop culture to that extent. And it's just a horrible thing when a Kodak Black, who we've talked about,
he's just
looks at his skin and goes, I don't date women this color.
But you have to look at everything he says and like judge him as a...
But he's also, he's not the problem. He's a product. He's a symptom of what is an underlying problem we rarely talk about. Right. So I can understand a black woman being liberated in this situation, but then feeling oppressed if it was a black man, who we do see a lot of NFL players, basketball players, all having white wives. I went to this football wedding once for a friend of mine who was in the NFL, and he was marrying a white woman. And literally every football player on his team that was there had a white wife or girlfriend. And it was weird being in the presence of the only black women that were there were the person that I went with and his family members. And that was it.
Do you feel like sometimes, because I wonder this too, like if they really, I mean, I'm sure they care about that person they're with, but do you think it's almost at some point like not necessarily who they would end up with if we were all just like clear?
I don't know.
Like, do people sometimes, like, is that something that is ingrained in someone's head? Like, oh, I'm stepping up because I'm...
It might be that feeling.
I don't know. I don't understand.
No, it might be that feeling. I don't know. I do.
That.
I have noticed that people feel that way.
Okay.
And it's shame. It's a shame that people feel. If you meet someone who you just happen to meet, who happens to be whatever race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality that they are, and you fall in love, that's different than I only date white women.
Right.
I only date black guys. Are
there a lot of people like that though, that say they only?
Sure. There's a lot of people, and that's the fine line between preference and prejudice. Okay. That's a concept, and that's a whole nother show topic. But with the royal wedding, people were glued to it. Mm-hmm. Did you like her dress?
No.
Why?
It was so boxy. She's beautiful. First of all, her makeup was horrendous. She looked 37. She's 36. Horrendous. And I know
compared to what she's looked like in the past.
I'm just saying, like, I understand. And then you also see, like, there's probably so much stress. Like, you look at Kate's wedding and her makeup was like barely there. Like, I don't know if this is a royal thing where and I'm not saying cake it on. Like, we don't need you to look like you're, I don't know, on the corner, but like put some foundation on for God's sake, or like get some filler or some Botox. I mean, the wrinkles on her eyes were just so...
It was a stressful
I'm being
wedding.
so judgmental right now. But
you are, but at the same time, it is the royal wedding. You expect this is to be it.
And her dress was horrible.
Did you like the black choir?
I did.
That was good.
And I liked the black preacher.
They had a black preacher, which was definitely a break from tradition.
Yeah.
I can only imagine all the traditional things that people have to go through. I watched The Crown. That's basically as much about the royals as I know.
And you're like, oh my God, how are they dealing with this?
They went through so much, And then I just have to say this for the record, that can we all know that it was her white family that was fucking up and not the black side? The black side just went right in line. The white dad didn't show up. They were just annoyed. Everything was just like, oh, you're not doing it like Americans or whatever. And so they're not estranged.
Okay, they're not estranged. So why didn't he come? Do we know?
He just was not trying to fall in line with the traditions and learn things, and that was the end of that.
He was white, so what's the?
There's traditions, there's steps, regardless of your race, regarding the royal edict, to the point where do you even know the last name of the royal family? Mm-mm. Because all of them have a different legal name.
Right.
Their last name is technically Mountbatten Windsor, but each one of them has a different name. Like Henry has a different name. Queen Elizabeth is Queen Elizabeth, something Mary, you know.
Yeah.
David is like David.
They have like 4,000
Exactly.
names. Yeah.
David, Albert, Philip. It just,
but it's all William Windsor is the last part you see?
They don't even use it because they're just so powerful. They don't even, it's like, you know who his name is Prince Harry.
Okay.
And now they're the Dutch and Duchess of Sussex.
Right.
That's their titles that
dope.
were bestowed. I mean, I would love it.
I just don't understand.
I would love to be in the royal family.
Right.
I've always wanted to be in the royal family since I was a kid.
And why is there negativity directed towards that? Like,
Because,
why wouldn't you want to fall in line? And
well, because everyone always wants to be like the alpha in a situation. I mean, everyone wants their cultures abided by and hates anything that they feel pretentious or more. There's always going to be a sense of resentment. It is
pretentious, but
they're the royal family, like, the most unnecessary necessity in the world, right? 100%. So it's the royal family. On another note, Tomi Lahren, who is an outspoken host and personality, who is the polar opposite to who you are as a person. Tomi Lahren was at a restaurant recently where a group of young people were arguing. I
don't even know what he looks like.
Her.
See, there we go.
She looks, she's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl. And she's very outspoken. She's basically the Rush Limbaugh.
Okay.
A young 23-year-old, 24-year-old.
Oh, and didn't she get started on YouTube with her really views?
Exactly, her right-wing views. And she started on a channel who got rid of her actually because she tweeted something about pro-abortion and they got rid of her. And now she's on Fox.
Right.
But the concept is she was at a diner at a restaurant and a dinery and someone threw their drink at her. And people were so happy about it because she's so right-wing.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
I'm not a supporter of hers. However, I feel like at some point in time, it's become okay to blatantly disrespect one side and not the other, except for, of course, Trump just disrespects everybody. But as people, I feel like it's almost okay. Like the media makes it okay to throw a drink at someone when they have literally done nothing to you. Yes, okay, their views. Everyone has views. Everyone has opinions. She just happens to be somebody who shares hers, which we all have the right to do in this country. I mean, if the person throwing the drink at her wants to share her views on YouTube, go ahead. But I feel like if there was nothing, I mean, was there any communication going on with them? Or did someone just walk by and throw
Tomi
it?
Lahren. There was a conversation. They started
Yeah.
hating on her, and then they were like, "We hate you," and threw their drink.
Yeah.
And I think that's despicable.
I don't.
You're not allowed to do that. We live in a country. I feel like you can. And people actually tweeted her today, and she retweeted what I said. I tweeted her where I do not always agree with her views. I don't disagree with all of her views.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with all of anyone's views for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, even Satan wants friends. That's why he has hell.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be the only bad person here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Totally.
I don't disagree with anyone's everything probably, but I can still like someone I disagree with.
Mm-hmm. And very few people, I think, have that capability because you think that for some reason, because they don't agree with you on something that makes people think different of you, or you somehow have their, like, it's cool to have different perspectives.
100%. That's what
as long as there's not hate
the best way. And even if they're hate, if someone hates me, I don't need to hate them back. And most often,
right, but you're not going to be friends with them probably.
I might. If they don't want to be my friend, I'm not going to go out of my way to impress friendship on them. But I will say this, I won't hate someone just because they hate me. Treat people as good as you are, not as bad as they are. Right? So I'll just always be me and I'll live my life. And if they dislike me, they can dislike me.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that I live in a country where she's allowed to have an opinion and I'm allowed to disagree.
And as a female that she's allowed to have an
opinion.
opinion.
I don't have to, that's actually a great point of view too.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with everything she says. I clearly don't agree or condone everything she says, but I can understand what she's talking about without condoning. There are people that I do that with all the time. And most of the time it's just called a relationship. So you usually just hate the person that you love opinion the most. But I don't hate Tomi Lahren. she's not the problem. She is also a symptom.
Right.
And she's a person that easily we can just not pay attention to, and then no longer does her opinion count. She doesn't make policy. She doesn't create the truth.
She comments on them.
She has an opinion, and we pay attention. Right. And so I understand why she says it in an inflammatory way, because especially now, that's the way to get attention. That's how we get attention. So she's basically a comedian without saying anything funny. We say shocking things all the time.
Right. With a little bit of humor. So it
with
goes
humor,
over a
so
little
it goes over. Technically speaking, if you listen to one of my shows, I'm in the KKK. Like, it's just basically, if you just listen to one of my shows, if you remove the humor, then I'm the worst, meanest person ever on the planet. Right. But because I say it in a sweet way, with a little bit of Tehran smile in a bathrobe, all of a sudden it's hilarious.
Right. Sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
It is sometimes. I mean, sometimes.
No, his shows are good. You should go.
Yeah, you should. And actually, I do want to apologize on air.
Oh yeah. I'm glad I'm getting this. I want to
apologize on air because something happened specifically. Not even this last year. The year before. This year was horrendous. The year before, Abigail and Olivia made an effort to show up to my birthday and brought me gifts and balloons.
Like, not just a balloon, like a balloon bouquet.
And gifts. And my birthday show was so packed. That the street was flooded and they could not get in.
But he did look right at me, but I feel like he looked past me. He didn't look at me, even though I was holding a balloon bouquet.
I would never have
see
seen
me.
And there were several people that I actually, and here's something, I don't know if you know this about me. I'm a dweller. And I dwell on things. I think about things that happened to me in second grade. I think about things. If I said something, if I could have said it better or more impactful, or have
you think about it afterwards.
I think about it forever.
You're like, if someone ever says this exact same thing to me again, I'm gonna have it
so
figured out.
I'm gonna be ready. I think about these things. In fact, a Tehran story of stories. When I was in second grade, I was playing a game of football and got into a fight with a kid who punched me, who sucker punched me, and then got on top of me and started punching me, okay? And I never forgot it. And then we went into the summer break.
Okay.
Fast forward to, I'm in college now. I'm walking with team members on my squad. We're walking. I see a kid at the fountain, at this little fountain we had with water. And I recognize the face. I go up to him and I said, "Hey, are you Barrett?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Did you go to Brookfield Elementary?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Do you remember me? My name's Tehran from second grade." And he had been a dick to me the whole year on top to culminating to that. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you, bro." And I punched him in the face so hard. He went to the fountain. I held his head down for not enough for him, but just enough for him to feel it. And I was like, "Remember second grade? I do too, bitch." And my friends were like, "Bro, what's wrong with you?" I was like, "Yo, I've been waiting.
To see you again."
So I dwell.
Yeah.
And I've been dwelling on the fact that you and several other people, my boy Robbie, you, and a couple other people who I actually wanted in my show could not get in because it was just so packed. It was so crazy. We were at capacity before the line started.
100. And we were there, like, it said to be there like 30 minutes early. We were there like 10 minutes early because we were getting the balloons, you know?
And it was ridiculous.
Yeah. It was insane. It was packed into the street.
People just crying, screaming.
Yeah. Oh, and every little club hoe in LA was there. "Oh, I know Tehran. Like, I'm on his list." I was like, "Bitch, we're all on his list. Like, his list is this right here. Just calm down for a second."
You want to know why that's so funny?
Like, pushing past, like, "Oh, I know him." Me too. Oh my God.
This year, George actually has the best video. There's these girls, and I wasn't at the door, and these girls walked the same formation, same situation. For some reason, even more girls outside this year.
Because you've been DMing them all.
Inside. And then walked up. I invite everyone to my show. Yeah, my concept 100%. Is to come to my show. And in fact, I think it's funny when I invite someone to my show and the girl hits me up and she's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like I have a boyfriend. I would love," and I'm like, "Yeah, great. Bring him."
Right. Like it's for
I think you're not understanding what I'm trying to do here.
Right.
I'm not trying to fuck. I want to follow. Come be at my show, be a fan.
And laugh.
Yeah, please.
And tell people
like
about how
tell your
funny I am.
boyfriend to bring his side chick. Like bring everyone you can. So this year, these girls push their way through. It's so funny. And they're like, but wait, we're with Tehran. We're on his list, just like you said. And then the crowd says, we're all on his list.
It's so true.
Yeah.
But you know how that is.
That's how it works. That's how it works. So I want to apologize to you.
That's
for not
really sincere.
Because I really think about
this
that.
is like the realest apology.
Yeah, I really think about it more than you realize. I think about that so often, especially because you left the balloons there.
In the street.
In the
We
street.
were so
and
dramatic.
I'm like, whose balloons are and because you also thought I saw you and didn't let you in, which if I had seen you, I would have stopped everything to make sure you walk in.
Yeah.
And so it was just overwhelming. I was overwhelmed with all the people, inundated with the people there.
I just remember being like, what do we do with the balloons? Olivia said, we should take them. I'm like, no, we're leaving them right here so he can see these balloons when he leaves.
And it was a good show. But you've come to a bunch of my shows.
Yeah, I have, and they're hilarious. Yeah.
So
he's funny.
You always show me love and support.
Yes.
We
should come more. I live like across the street.
It
really
come
is.
Whenever you want.
Yeah.
You're
What is
more
it?
than
I'm going to
welcome.
plug you on your own show. Yeah. Mondays and Thursdays?
Mondays and Thursdays, 10 p.m. at the Laugh Factory. I perform. People are like, oh, I thought that I saw you on a Wednesday. I'm like, yeah, I perform other days and at other clubs. It's just those are my nights specifically.
There. We know we can find you.
Exactly. And then usually Friday at Long Beach when I'm in town.
I will never go to Long Beach. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't either. Okay. I get it.
Okay.
So Miss USA pageant happened. Were you ever a pageant girl?
Hell no.
Okay, I'm just asking.
No.
You're good looking.
No.
You could have done it.
I was not.
Growing up?
Yeah. It was one of those
awkward transition girls?
It was like I was really cute until I hit like maybe 4th or 5th grade. And then it was like, the fuck? And then I turned like 22 and then it was like, oh, okay. Like it was like decades.
So that's why you're cool though. That's why you're cool though.
Right? I have like the ugly girl like personality.
You have like a personality. You know how much drinks are and you don't mind paying for half, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh no, I got it.
Yeah.
Like I legitimately remember like turning 22 and being like, oh my God, the fat on my face? Like what happened? Like, I'm not kidding, in like a matter of months.
It just felt.
And like I would see people and they'd be like,
you look great. Did you get surgery?
What? And I'm like, no, just like my baby fat from my face is gone.
It just left. Yeah. Hormones changed you.
Yeah.
Miss USA happened, and it was a very awkward situation in case you didn't watch it, because they had montages of things like #MeToo, and then immediately after they had the swimsuit.
Oh my God.
competition.
No, you can't do that.
Miss Nebraska won, Sarah Summers.
Okay.
We went right back because I felt like there was a pattern of people of different ethnicities winning. Mm-hmm. And then we went right back to blonde hair, blue eyes.
Okay.
So that's how it went down.
Now, because I have blonde hair and blue eyes, which my natural hair color is blonde as well, it's just a little bit like.
I know,
slightly,
you bleach it more blonde to accentuate it. I've seen your real hair when it comes out, and it's also just blonde.
It's blonde. So does a blonde hair, blue eyed girl never get to win anymore because that's so like.
No, that's not I have no problem with the blonde hair, blue eye. I just do think it's interesting the timing of it.
True. Okay.
I'm more focused on the fact, do we even need a Miss USA pageant anymore?
No.
Is this something where people actually care about Miss USA pageant?
Do you know any pageant people though?
I know one or two.
There is one.
And I feel like Maddie from the show would have been a pageant girl.
No way.
I feel like
I don't know. No, I don't think she could.
Possibly.
But I know a few pageant people, and there's a few at AfterBuzz, and there's only one I can tolerate. They have a vibe, man. They are like women in Texas or something. I don't know. The way they do their hair, the way they're just so extra. Like, oh, my pageant. You're 28 years old. What are you doing in a pageant? Who cares who Miss Beverly Hills is? Do we give a fuck who she is? Like, what does that do for you? I mean, you're the most attractive person in Beverly Hills based on the 10 wives that have nothing going on in their lives that want to compare bodies and talents with you? What about all the CEO females in Bel Air? I'm so confused. I just don't get it.
I've never really understood. I understand why pageants exist, but I also don't understand why pageants exist. So yeah. I just don't know if there's a place for them in the modern day.
No, I feel like maybe it should have stopped in like the 70s, to be completely honest. Like when we started getting like jobs and.
But at the same time, I don't think we
Cars.
should not look at beauty. Beauty
Yeah.
is also just important as intelligence.
Right.
Everything's important.
But
it shouldn't be the only
Yeah.
importance, especially with the answers. If you heard some of the answers to the questions,
Ridiculous.
some of the girls answered things, even Miss Nebraska, who did win,
Yeah.
when they asked her about children without single family homes and how it affects, she's like, well, I don't know what that's like because I had both parents, but, and then went into
Like,
her
why
answer.
would you
And then her answer
preface
was
it
just
with
not
that?
even
Yeah, no.
about it. There was a lot of answers like that.
Yeah.
One pageant answer was, it was regarding why only a third of women voted. And she made it sound like women didn't even have the right to vote. Her answer.
And it's like,
Women have opinions and and it's not like some of these people are brilliant. They could be brilliant. It's
so, I
just-
mean, yeah, I like the Miss Universe or whatever. I think I
Sure.
watched like 10, 15 minutes of it. Whatever. I don't even know when it airs. Maybe it was last year's. I mean, some of these women have legit jobs. Like they're intelligent human beings, but they might not have like a common cultural sense or an awareness that I would feel needs to be represented in women in today's society. Like, and also those pageants are expensive. So you're not having like your middle America person. I mean, if you are, their family's pouring like all their money into your pageant or something. But you know what I mean? Just, it's not a good representation. It's embarrassing as a female.
Anyone who wants to do a pageant, as long as you're doing it for you and not because you
Yeah.
were cultured into it, you were programmed
But even
to
why
think
are
it's
you doing
important.
it? I'm really not. I would say I'm anti.
Anti-pageant.
pageants.
I'm not anti
Yes.
most things, but I just don't know why it's such an important thing. Miss USA, there was a time where we cared who they were, and now we just really don't as much.
No.
But then again, to
Also,
each
like
their own.
Instagram's killed that too. Because like,
Instagram has
you know,
killed-
it's
every
like,
day
oh,
is
they're a
Miss
star.
USA is every girl
like,
on
oh, that's my
Instagram.
neighbor. Like that's
Yeah.
it's a bitch you fucked last week. Like I don't know, they're all the same. Like it's just there's no variation.
That's so real. That's real. That's real. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, for everyone who's doing it, let them do it.
Yeah.
Usually George would come out with some words of the week, but I think that's our words of the week is like, oh, that's the bitch I fucked last week.
You know, that could be it.
I liked your picture on Instagram. Our Imperfect Gentleman of the week this week is going to be Meghan Markle. We pick an Imperfect Gentleman, someone who
Isn't it Markle?
maybe, who knows?
You made her sound like real.
Because now that she's a
suave.
royal,
Meghan Markle.
I feel like it's Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
It is Markle, but I feel like now, who knows? Now they can just create
Yeah.
whatever they say. Because even
Are
when
they
you read
adding
her bio,
names on to hers?
Kind of. Even when you read her bio now, all of a sudden she had a great great grandfather that was a royal, and that's kind of how they justified it. And I remember reading her bio before, and it wasn't there. So it's just interesting how we just changed history. But she is Meghan Markle is definitely our Imperfect Gentleman of the week because she is just a young mixed girl from Crenshaw who made it all the way to the royal family.
She's from Crenshaw. I didn't know that.
From Crenshaw.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's actually interesting. A comedian, Finesse Mitchell, even talks about like, if you're gonna suck dick up. Like so she sucked dick all the way up to the royal family.
To the royal family.
Yeah.
Shit.
So that's good luck. So let's get to our topic.
Let's get there.
And I want to talk about money, especially with you, because you have been in relationships with people who have not had money. And people have commented about that with you.
Yeah.
And you're the girl who has actually held your man down in times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're in a relationship with a gentleman and whose birthday it was. Happy birthday to him. But
it's tomorrow, but yeah.
But the concept, I saw the birthday
he
dinner
saw it,
happen.
he saw
Right? So the concept is this. How important is money as a female, in a female perspective, how important is money in a relationship?
I mean, I would be an idiot to say it's not important at all. I think it's important, but I think the dynamic of money in a relationship has changed. And like I grew up, like my dad was a provider. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She didn't work. She like volunteered and baked cookies and stuff. But then like when he passed away, our whole family structure changed like completely. So I went from like upper middle class to actually not even like probably the low end of upper class. I would so millions of dollars a year coming in to what the fuck is like what are we you know what
like
I mean?
Poor.
Like
you,
not poor,
you
but
kinda
like
went to poor.
Kinda like
your mom had to get a regular job.
like like not just like a job. Like it wasn't like she didn't work for 25 years.
So she got a regular job.
Like yeah, like
And
she was
you got a job.
She was like a teacher's aide in a public school.
Yeah.
Like does that even pay? Like, I don't know. You know
that's
what I
I'm saying.
mean?
She basically was one step above volunteer.
And then
you got a job and your brother got a job and everyone had to work.
Right.
And from a family where you guys were pretty much taken care of and had luxury.
Yeah.
Especially in the area that you were in, because you were making millions of dollars, where $1 million goes a long way.
A long way.
As opposed to, it's not like
here.
Yeah, $1 million here, you're still pretty much middle class.
Right.
They're pretty much like, people are like,
it's like where you got made fun of for being rich.
It's like being a rapper where they're like, he only has $5 million. Like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like that kind of really changed and that also was like in the years where I feel like I was being formed as like an adult. So
you're a teenager. You were a teenager.
Yeah. And so it was like, oh my God, like, fuck men. Like, I gotta make sure that I'm good or whatever. But I think it is important. I'm just very stubborn, and like I'm a do-it-yourself kind of person, and I take pride in myself probably more than I would like in what my husband or my boyfriend does, because I feel like, what does that mean? Like, so you break up and what do you know what I mean? So I want to provide for myself. I do though think you can start to resent people. I feel like it's like I'm at this cross between traditional and not, because I want to be taken care of as much as I pretend like I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make my own money. Like, I'm going to make my own money. But it'd be great if you could like, meet me.
What's yours is mine and what's mine is mine.
Right.
But do you feel like most girls think that way?
No.
Do you feel like most girls want to be taken care of secretly?
No, I don't think it's a secret. I feel like I'm secretly like, yeah, I want someone to like, it's not a secret, I guess now. But I think most girls are like, no, I want to like, especially here, which again, it's really hard like to separate Los Angeles reality to the rest of the country's reality, because I think that actually is reality, but here's just a figment of our imagination. But especially here, like, bitches are like trying to like get pregnant by some random dude. Like, there's so many escorts. Like, there's so many people I know that are escorts that I didn't know and that they were. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Now you realize that is actually what they do.
That's like really what they do.
That's how they got to Dubai.
Like, right. And I'm like, what? I mean, but then at the same time, I feel like I'm very critical of that. I'm like, but I guess like if that's your talent, it's still your money you're making. I guess like, who am I to judge the way you're making it? But I'm still judging.
Like, that it's wrong to judge, but you still
But I'm still going to judge because you're
it.
Literally sucking dick for money. Like, I don't get it.
In some ways, you could also argue that
but then people do it for free.
Everyone does.
Right. Like, so is it better to do it for money, or should I just be like giving it away?
Offense, but your mom was like everyone.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Everyone technically, because that's an argument you can say, like a provider, right? The provider, and what were you providing?
But like, let me tell you. So I went into.
You also, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I just have a sister and a brother.
It's just there's three
of us.
So. That's providing something, know? There was a skill involved there.
Right. Well, I mean, when you're married, that's a different story.
Sure, but is it really though? See, that's the concept. Is it really?
The society is programming me to think it's a different story.
Where marriage is just legal baby mama.
Yeah, but it's legal.
Yeah, but that's the only difference is there's a piece of paper. It's a contractual baby mama.
You are so enlightened.